Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading for the period of Sunday, December 23rd through Saturday, December 29th. And I'm going to use my numerology deck this week to get the masculine's perspective. And this is what I'm starting. 88 for abundance. And opening to 91, surrender. Surrender. And leadership. So already we have a lot of orange popping up. There could be something having to do with the sacral chakra. Surrender. And patience. Twos have to do with relationships. 91 equals 10 equals 1, which is new beginnings. You need to surrender in order for something old to be released so that something new can begin. And the 8s, of course, represent abundance and justice and karmic energy and infinite. And opening to 27, spiritual partnership. 44 represents the archangels, maybe most specifically Michael, but the archangels in general. And environment has been coming up. Also, these two 4s, of course, equal an 8. So more abundance, karmic energy, possibly. And the theme of environment, and coupled with green and the energy of earth, particularly the Hierophant and the Hermit, have been coming up in all my readings this weekend, that we may have to make some adjustments, like to the people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves, that that are part of our environment, to ensure that we're aligning, with what is in our company, particularly as it relates to spiritual partnership. Spiritual partnership. I'll do one more. And it is master number 33, which represents the ascendant masters. 3s in general, also about abundance, creation, the creator, so God. Communication. Opposite spiritual partnership. So this could be like trying to discuss, where are we going? What's happening with our relationship? Or this could be taking something to the next level. Or initiating partnership where one doesn't exist. What's this behind it that it's trying to show me? Forgiveness. Man, is this a theme right now? That could be part of the communication. As a matter of fact, that came up in the general. That definitely came up in the general. The need to communicate something foul, possibly. Spiritual partnership, and we're back to another 2. We had seen a 2 before. Was it patience? Yeah, maybe we're back to this one. It's this orange card again. So you may need to take your time, go slow in beginning a relationship, or in, renewing a relationship. Let's just take it slow. Let's, step by step. Let's not, get too ahead of ourselves. That sort of thing is coming through. Spiritual partnership. And on that note, I will cut. And we're back to the double 8s in abundance. How awesome is that? Wow. The overall energy is self-love. And this is probably the greatest theme this week. It's very much connected to the full moon in Cancer. All about nurturing, beginning with ourselves. So this is the spread from the masculine's perspective, divine feminine. The masculine as it relates to the feminine in connection to the union, of course, and himself. and the union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do, contribute, surrender toward the union, what he himself is willing to. What the universe would have the two do, but they will have to like firm to it, commit to it, if they want the universe's full support. And I'm getting 2 cards for whatever reason for the outcome. So we'll see what that's about in a moment. Divine feminine. Synchronicity. I talked a lot about in the other readings about paying close attention to our intuition, syncs, signs, dreams. So continuation of that. That came up very much in, especially in the full moon in Cancer readings, like over the period of the next 2 weeks, not just this one. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. 55, which equals 10, again, or 1, and maybe a new beginning, an adventurous one. We could be taking a leap, a risk, going for it, a new path. The masculine maybe having that on his mind as it relates to the feminine. There needs to be a change to the current situation. That's what 5s are about. The need for a change of energy. A new adventure. The masculine about himself, 74, 11 or 2 for partnerships in nature. This is earth energy. There's been so much earth and fire. Really not as much, not so much water as I would think I would have expected with the Cancer. A lot of earth and fire. That's that Capricorn. That's the Jupiter sextile Saturn that happens this week. This is the masculine needing to again, do some introspection, go within. This is the Hermit coming through. This is the Hierophant. Like it's about his nature and what feels natural with what he aligns. It's also about the need to get out, you know, or spend some time with nature. If it's too cold to do that, to maybe bring some nature in with him. Some plants, some herbs, something, maybe changes his diet, go more natural, whether that's, you know, meat, vegetables, whatever, but natural, as clean as possible. And, you know, in everything you do, like even like the soap and stuff that he uses, I'm feeling. The union as a whole. Surrender. There it is. Surrender. I could really stop there, but I won't. Overall, forgiveness. Wow. Wow. This is huge always, but I mean, if you watch my other readings that I put up this week, I did a pick a card that people are enjoying. I did the full moon in Cancer. I've now done the general, and this is the love. This forgiveness theme, man, it's just over and over. Again, beginning with ourselves, because it's also a period of self-love and self-nurturing, self-care. What the masculine would have the feminine do toward the union this week as it relates to loves. Boom! Boom. Spiritual partnership. He may want her to initiate it, or he's trying to send like smoke signals, right, with the synchronicity. Sending you signals and signs. You're supposed to catch it, the bat signal. And then you may have to be the one to, you know, reach out. Well, really, he reached out in a different way. And then, you know, you might have to respond in a more 3D way. You might be moved to. I'm not going to say you have to. You might be moved to. And then I do recommend following one's intuition, guidance, heart. What the masculine himself is doing this week. Financial discipline. What's he saving up for? And it's a green Merkaba here with crossing this nature. And I think, again, this is about his relationships and his nature. His relationship with money. His relationship with himself, and like as far as his lifestyle. That's what he's working on. You need money for the adventure, I guess, or stability. Stability. green and earth energy is about practicality, right? Being reasonable and making plans. So it makes a lot of sense. What the universe would have the two to do, focus on, surrender, contribute toward their union, but they are going to have to first affirm to it for the universe to give them that support that they need, especially if it's something like that would seem impossible. It's like, well, you can do it with the universe's help, but it still wants to see you first say, yes, I believe this can happen. I believe, change. So it's another 5. With these 2 5s, it is a 6, right? 15 equals 6 equals love. It'll be a change in that area and a new adventure in the area of love. That's what I see. This can apply to different people however they need it to, though. But the universe is willing to help you to change whatever's not working. And, with whom, whether it's not working. And the outcome. Wow, they're both yellow. Isn't this something? And with effort, right? You putting something forth too, because prayer without works is dead. It doesn't work. You can sit here and pray all day, and if you're not willing to put any of your energy into it, then nothing happens. But happy ending is the outcome. I love that. Something from the perspective of the universe. Beginning, unfortunately, with triangle. I say unfortunately because it's the love reading. So I don't want to see any of these kind of triangles, because even if it's not a love triangle, it's some third energy that's not needed. It's intrusive, or at least that's how it feels to me. Because there's some parties of 3 in this deck, like 3 people together, that don't give me such a feeling of like negativity. Opening to union. So maybe there is a choice that needs to be made. Narrowing one's options down toward union. Triangle. And passion. Only 2 people here. So like one of these gets cut off. Which goes along with what I said in the beginning about the Hierophant and the Hermit, and needing to change with whom and what and where we surround ourselves to make adjustments in that area. Like cutting one person off could definitely be an adjustment. And a long distance. I feel today that this is about looking forward, like to the future. And opposite triangle also, yeah, like who could I spend my life with potentially? 3 sails in the boat, so it's another party of 3. Triangle. And here she is, the brunette female. So this is the karmic feminine energy. Not necessarily an actual person, but definitely can be. And where it is, yes, likely a female, and or feminine, more so than a masculine or male. And quite possibly a Cancer or a Leo Cancer. Often is. Triangle. I'll do one more. It is obstacles. That energy, I would say, is an obstacle. Triangle. Oh, goodness. And friendship. The person might be a friend of me. And the overall energy is obstacles. So again, we might be facing these this week, narrowing our options down and things like that. Divine couple or being for singles. 2 cards again. Recent past. masculine's higher self, near future, blocks to our progress, the union, what the feminine can do, like to help herself in relation to whatever's happening, what the masculine can do, and what the universe, you know, wants to help them with. But again, they will have to affirm, commit to it themselves and the outcome. This one almost came out too. It slid over, but it didn't come all the way. But we'll keep that in mind. Divine couple or being. Short-term heartbreak, delay, pause, separation, disagreement. This is 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands, maybe even 3 of Swords, which actually came up a number of times. All of those came up a number of times in the general. You should check out the general if you haven't seen it yet. I like to put up that one first for that reason. And both of these cards tend to represent the sign of Capricorn for me. Recent past could have been, putting a lot of effort into something that is valuable to you, that it means something. Could be literal for some, working very hard, you know, trying to increase their abundance, financial abundance, material abundance, particularly the masculine. We just saw in the last spread that he was working on financial discipline. But this often comes through too for me as like a karmic, like a Saturn, like a Capricorn, like a devil from the tarot, and sitting here next to short term. It may be that, you know, some sort of restriction, especially given our overall energy of obstacles, some sort of restriction is what led to this. And I'm being reminded about the long distance. For some, like maybe somebody was supposed to visit and they didn't make it, or it seems like they're not going to make it. Maybe they won't be here exactly the time that you wanted them to, but they'll show up a little bit later because something happened with money or with a, you know, with a restriction, like a Saturn type of energy. Masculine's higher self. Travel. Yeah, so I think in some cases the masculine was trying to visit or get to you, or to move forward, even if it's metaphorically, but something blocked him, and it may be connected to money. He may not have had the money that he needed or felt he needed or wanted in order to accomplish the goal. The travel card is very much like the Chariot for me in the traditional tarot, which represents the sign of Cancer again. So this could be tied to the Cancer full moon too, or to that karmic feminine energy. Maybe that's the restriction, whether it's an actual person or not. Near future, mature woman. So I think this is you recovering, feminine, and like getting over this situation and yourself. You know, that the effort was still made. And so maybe it's a little egotistical to be angry at, you know, the masculine or this other party. Yeah, it's a little egotistical. So we're going to grow up in the near future. That's why this is short term, right? We're going to realize I'm being silly. You know, he did show up. It was just the next day or whatever. Or, you know, Christmas comes around every year. I plan on spending a lot more years with him. So we'll have another opportunity to do this. So, something like that. Or at least he's here for New Year's. Whatever. You get the idea what I'm trying to put down, I hope. What the feminine also can do is just, just love, pursue passions, be happy. This is like a 2 of Fire type of card. So it's also about, you know, keeping in mind that the relationship is coming together, even if there are still bumps in the road. Or like the rocky seas we saw in that long distance card. 2 of Fire also represents divine unions or twin flames in the tarot. this card is very much that way for me. What the masculine can do is friendship. So like repairing where there's been discord or disagreement, like repairing the friendship. But also, like I said, I think for some there is a frenemy, and that's not exclusive to the masculine, the feminine too. I felt like frenemies, so he may have something to deal with, and maybe that's what's holding him up. That could be the feminine energy. It could be a female platonic friend, an actual person. Yeah, that is really a friend of me, that's a block to union, like, and he might not even recognize it, or maybe this is the week that he finally does. That's what the other cards say. Yeah, blocks. Psst. Past life. This could easily be a friendship, or, you know, something holding him back that he has to deal with, like I was just saying. He has to address. It won't take long. What the universe would have the two do is young female, which could be for some a young female, for real, maybe a Sagittarius that is involved in this situation. This card does tend to represent like a Sagittarian energy for me, the planet Jupiter, which is about karma too. So that could also be like just the universe is willing to help you through this period of addressing some things from your past life and karma, if you commit to doing it and cutting, you know, maybe cutting cords or releasing past negative emotions. And the outcome. Wow. Okay. So we move from that to fair male, which is also a karmic energy for me, but I just got it. I just got it. This week there's a very, very favorable transit that I mentioned at the beginning of the reading before I laid the cards. Jupiter sextile Saturn. That's going to bring some positive things actually to all of these karmic situations, especially for those of us who have put positive energy into the karmic bank, so to speak, in the past. That's going to help you. But otherwise, this card does represent, again, like a Capricorn and Devil from the tarot, like that kind of energy. Saturn could potentially restrictive, karmic, masculine energy for me. And maybe an actual Capricorn in your life. This may be an actual Sagittarius in your life. I've otherwise been moved to use my Ascendant Master cards this week. I use them in the general as advice, and now I'm going to lay a spread with them. Beginning with Jesus, open your heart to love. And opening to energy healing and Merlin. Some of us may need energy healing in order to open our heart to love. There could be blocked heart chakra. There could be cords, negative cords of attachment, negative emotions that we need to be able to cut or release before we can open our heart to love. Yep. Let it go, says Kuan Yin. So that's exactly what it is. A lot of people are, though, seeking energy healing like these last couple weeks before we go into the new year. I think I'm definitely here for it. I think it's definitely the right thing to do. Who wants to go into a new year with, you know, something that they discovered about themselves they've been carrying for far too long as it is? Like, get rid of it. Take it from me now. That's how I feel about it. So, and nurture yourself, Mother Mary. Not only is this the theme, as I've said already, but Mother Mary, Christmas falls within, you know, the period of this reading too. So now we have Mary and Jesus both here, opposite one another. Open your heart to love and drink more water, says Oshun. This is also going to be a period of ascension, is what she wants us to know. There could be some ascension symptoms. Open your heart to love. And go now, says Serapis Bay. So, like, not to waste any more time not healing and not loving. Do it now. It's urgent. You're urgent. I like this. Father, husband, brother, son, Osiris. There's a masculine energy in your life. It could be your own. We're all androgynous at the soul level. So you may have to work with your inner masculine. Or it could be an actual masculine and or male in your life. Father, husband, brother, son, with whom you need to repair a relationship. And you need to do this in order to move forward. By repair, sometimes, yes, we can actually fix it. If we're interested and able, we can actually fix it. But in some cases, unfortunately, we are going to be walking away from people too. And that's an obstacle. So you have to address it. Lord Ganesha says, yes, I will help you too, like to knock it down, to barrel it over. But you have to first, again, commit to it. And maybe it's going to require you opening your heart to love so that you can forgive them for whatever they did to you. Or you can, be willing to ask them for their forgiveness for whatever you did to them. And vice versa. Both can happen. Open your heart to love. And the power of joy with Maitreya. On that note, I will cut. Wait a minute, I had already cut. Let's cut again. Retreat into nature in the green man. So this we needed to see. And it's the same kind of energy that came up for the masculine before in the first spread. Yes, with the numerology deck. This card also about abundance when the green man shows up. It's and it's abundance in all forms and areas. So it's financial, it is material, and it's love too. He's got this little heart down here. But there's a need to connect with nature in order to open up some sort of flow, and maybe to exercise some practicality in that area also. And now the overall energy is fertility and Pan. Since I've done everything all over again, Pan is just like a goat man. So this is very Capricorn, the sea goat, which begins officially. If for those of us for whom it didn't officially begin on the 22nd, it definitely begins by the 23rd of December, which is the first day for which this reading is. Happy birthday to anybody celebrating Capricorn birthday this week. Fertility and Pan means, like it is heightened sexual energy coming through, like that often comes through with the devil, which represents, again, the sign of Capricorn in the tarot. This could be people getting frisky over the holidays, but it's also new ideas, new relationships, new energy, just fertile with freshness. Freshness. Yeah, as it relates to new and maybe as it relates to getting frisky. Crowning the masculine, it is priorities and King Solomon. So you're definitely going to want to, I think, put yourself first is what I'm hearing. But then what else are your priorities? Or because you're putting yourself first, what does that make your priorities? What do you need to handle? What do you need to drop that, doesn't necessarily go toward your benefit and turn to instead? You should do it this week, masculine. And surrounding you is health and healing. That may be your priority, focusing on your health. And when you say health, that doesn't just mean physicality or the physical health. That is mental, that is emotional, that is spiritual, that is your relationships, that is your relationship not just with people, but your relationships, again, with things like money that you already seem to be tending to. So think about what you need to do there. We also have more of this green and earth energy coming through, this green shirt too with Hilarion. And again, I need to connect with nature, but also get in tune with your own nature. And maybe natural products. Again, I just keep hearing and feeling that. Masculine subconscious. You can do it. It may sound like a lot, but Archangel Michael says you can do it. This is what he wants you to do. This is what he feels you need to do. The Ascended Masters are saying that you need to do masculine this week, not put it off anymore. Make yourself a priority, right? Prioritize yourself and attend to this. Feminine. Come out of the closet, says Amaterasu. For some of us, this is literal, like we're in some sort of closet, in some sort of bag, whether it has to do with homosexuality and us being a lesbian, pretending that we're not, or being, some guy's beard, meaning that he's gay and we're not, but we're in some kind of fake marriage or relationship, or, just otherwise being bogus about whatever our feelings are and whatever our desires and goals and love interests and all that, and leading fake lives, whatever it is. It's like she's saying, come out of that closet. When I first started, that very first year, I read for a young man for free. I did that plenty my first year. I read for, I think, a majority of people. I read for them for free. In any case, that wasn't the point of it. But I was just thinking about how I sort of like voluntarily had read for him. But that was one of the cards that came out. And it turned out that he was gay. And the reading that I did for him inspired him to talk to his father. And he's been out ever since. That was 2016. Feminine is surrounded by Yes and Ganesh. So again, he's going to help us. Lord Ganesha wants to help us to knock down this and any other obstacle that is in our way. But again, we have to also commit to these things. Feminine subconscious. It is listen. So it's like following the guidance. Again, paying attention to the signs, synchronicities, messages, dreams. Here they are. Crowning. Boom. Follow your heart, says St. Francis. Again, prioritize you. Come out of the closet and go after what you want. Implies on both sides. At the root, foundation. What got us here in the first place? The flow of prosperity, says Lakshmi. This is our abundance coming in, but it's coming in all areas. And if you want to receive the blessing, there's some stuff you have to do too. Again, prayer without works is dead, doesn't work. So if you're putting the prayer out there, now you got to do your part. And the heart of the matter. Focus upon your strengths, says Apollo, to make it happen. For our advice, I was feeling past life cards. And as soon as I started shuffling them, the first card I opened to was leaving or travel, which came up several times in the full moon in Cancer reading. This theme of leaving and moving and traveling. Opening to male, female. What this card actually was intended to mean is that, like, say you're a female now, you likely weren't in the past. If you're a male now, you likely were not in the past. You were a female. And for some, this can have to do with leaving. It may be connected to come out of the closet for some of the feminine and leaving like the old, fake you behind, or moving somewhere, on either side, moving somewhere like to start a new life, a new adventure, like came up before. With the numerology deck, that adventure card, male, female, and baby. This can be about new starts, new beginnings. Children tend to represent that for me. For some, actual, I talked about this being a good period to get pregnant. If you've been trying to, says the mother. In the again in the Cancer full moon reading, I talked about it being connected to the energy of mother and nurturing, and a great time to work on getting pregnant if that's your interest. So this is like an Empress kind of card here. It could be giving birth to something new, including the new you opposite that male female card, whatever the new you means. Mother. And communal living. Communal living in this deck, when it comes up, tends to mean that we lived that way in the past or in a past life, and that we're still carrying, you know, that sort of mentality around with us, and maybe like not requiring enough, like not knowing our worth, because we're used to just trading stuff for barter and not really, you know, requiring a specific price for anything, you know, including our service to people or whatever. Knighthood in this deck is similar. It tends to mean you in the past life you were likely some sort of knight or soldier, and still are this type of person, like a Knight of Swords type of person, decisive and dependable and respectful, and still looking to be treated that way. And trust and faith is pretty straightforward. Knighthood, I'll cut. The Knight of Swords is a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. That could definitely be you, again, being decisive this week and deciding to make yourself a priority, deciding to come out of the closet, deciding to have some faith and believe that the universe is going to come through and help you, right? We're back to communal living. In that moment, I do think that communal living, especially with it having popped up twice, was also like a nod to the journey and all of us sort of being conjoined, you know, as part of this one greater source, like all going through these things together. And our overall energy is authority figures. When this card shows up, it too is connected to past lives, of course, as the whole deck is, and your relationship with authority and leadership. Maybe your parents or somebody or something, like, you know, manipulating you. This is an indication it's time for you to like take back control of your life. And to follow like your heart, your intuition, your practical ideas, your intellect, your wisdom, rather than, you know, somebody else's authority. Or like your feeling about their hold over you. Oh, one jumped out extra by itself, so we'll share that. And it is past love. So again, there's some sort of something that needs to be addressed. This can also apply to, you know, this can be several things. It can apply to the actual, you know, union too, because you guys are past loves as well. But I think, I mean, my first feeling was that it's stemming from some sort of past relationship with somebody else that is affecting you now. Let's put this here. Further advice from the numerology deck to the masculine. Aww, love partnership. Number 26. How awesome is that? 26 equals 8, more abundance, justice. It's the right thing to do, to follow your heart and pursue your love partnership, wherever that is. with whom that is, despite whatever everybody else says. It also goes towards your health, your well-being, your emotional and spiritual health is to be with who you want to be, and you can do it. You can break away from, the naysayers and the people that you feel are stifling you and limiting you from doing so. You can do it, says Archangel Michael. He will help you. He'll take his sword and do it if you commit to it first. Feminine for us, leadership. So that card of authority, I mean, it's for both, but in large part, I can feel it being for us. And again, feeling manipulated, controlled. That's why we're in a closet, But 8 plus 1 equals 9. 9s are about endings. They're about humanitarianism, so communal living. Like when you do something to better yourself, it helps all of the rest of us too. Anytime one of us grows, one of us succeeds, the rest of us benefit too. I just heard, like, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. That's from Miracle on 34th Street. It's more orange too, so that I do feel that there's like a sacral chakra message in the background of all these cards also, that we need to focus on that too this week a little bit. But yeah, 9 also means new beginnings. It means endings, but it means new beginnings too. So you, like, taking your first stand and putting an end to somebody else running you around and leading you around, controlling your life. Oh, I didn't take our advice from here yet. I'll do that last then. From the hashtag creepy deck to the masculine, this blonde female who's actually a redhead. I tried to dye my hair black today. I went to the salon and I said, "Can you dye my hair black?" And she screwed up her face, so she was like, no, black is not for you. I was like, what? She said, "Fine, you want black, I'll do black." But after the way she looked and spoke, I was like, never mind. And then after she finished, there were other women sitting there by this time too, when she was done. And she's like, "Look, see, black is not for you. This is you're not." Cause she like put, well, I don't know what they call it, but when they put like something like to brighten up your color. So she did that. So my hair is red again, like auburn, whatever. And she's like, "This is your," I'm like, "Yeah, but this is my color." So I just thought I would do something different. And the other ladies were like, "Yeah, but no." No, I'm not meant to be, brunette female. In any case, this blonde female is actually a redhead in my opinion, and she does represent for me the divine feminine in this deck. The divine feminine in the tarot is the Queen of Wands, right? So fire. She's got this fiery red hair. She doesn't look like necessarily like a Queen of Wands, a little bit younger, but she is my representation of the divine feminine. So love, partnership, and the divine feminine are the masculine's first 2 cards. Can you believe it? And then with this one, they jumped out. So again, it can be applied to the relationship together also. From the hashtag creepy deck to the feminine, it is Ice Queen, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Could be a need to cut something off, right? To be like a Queen of Swords type and cut something out of your life. Maybe the closet. Could be about Venus, right? The goddess and planet of abundance and love, money, guiding you to, she's got this big cat with her. There's like the fire, the passions, pursue your passions. Venus still located in Scorpio, if I remember correctly too. So that's another reason to be tied to fire, potentially. Mars is a ruler of Scorpio. Mars, the red planet. From the Ascended Masters to the masculine. Choose peace. So like as compassionately as you are able, you are going to mend fences. You are going to end relationships where that applies. You're going to create new relationships where that applies. From as loving and peaceful a place with as least amount of drama as possible. And it's also inner peace. You know what? That's the bigger message. That's the priority. It's choosing inner peace. I could do, you know, this one thing, and that's going to make everybody else happy. Or I could do this other thing, and that's going to make me happy. If I want to choose inner peace, regardless of about how it make these other people feel, I got to choose this thing, the one that's for me, that follows my heart. That's the choose peace. That's the number one meaning of the choose peace. Feminine from the ascended masters to us, retreat into nature. So we've got to do a little bit of this introspection too. And this introspection has been coming up for us. It came up in other readings. The general, I think the full moon also. So we've got to connect. This is also, again, another, it's kind of like getting the Ace of Pentacles too, because he's like a male Venus. You know, when you see him, you know, it means abundance in all forms. And we got both. We got the Venus here too. So new things, in the area of abundance for us. Masculine, you got another card about health. So you got health here and you got health here. It is time for you to think of yourself first and foremost, even if it sounds selfish. And that ties into, again, the communal living. Like we're used to being selfless and just giving of ourselves and working for people for free and all this kind of stuff. And it's time to, again, prioritize yourself. I don't know how else to say it. For the feminine, Native American. I feel that this has to do with getting back to nature too. Maybe not specifically Native American, means that there is, and this can still be a meaning. It means that there is a connection to you and Native American heritage in this and or, you know, past lifetimes. But I'm also feeling that beyond Native American specifically, this is about indigenous peoples and practices and nature. You know, so again, like getting to employing practices that are as natural to you as possible, including whatever this represents. And it's taking me back to this. Like if you're doing something that's unnatural, you're being fake, you're being phony, it doesn't need to stop that. And be indigenous, right? Be genuine, be original, be who you are. Lastly, I'll get some advice from the Universal Love Oracle, which I forgot before, beginning with Moon Tree, which I think is awesome because I'm doing this reading on the 22nd, which is the day of the full moon in Cancer. Moon Tree represents sacred marriage and opening to forgiveness. Which I've mentioned is a huge theme this week. And transience, healing from head to toe, inside and out, and full surrender for it to allow for it to happen. Full vulnerability, exposure of oneself, right? This woman is naked. Her eyes are closed. Her head is tilted to the side. That's full vulnerability. Maybe as it relates to forgiveness too, specifically for some of us. It's like I'm just going to completely drop my ego and my pride and expose myself in seeking forgiveness or in granting forgiveness. Forgiveness. And guardian, we're not alone. Call on your friends, allow them entree into your life, permission to intercede and to help you, maybe to a place of forgiveness. Guardian. And physical body. This week, I think this is going again toward health, also toward new beginnings, and for the feminine, pregnancy, because I did see the need for the vitamin D and folic acid with this very card, again, in the Cancer reading. Physical body and eternal flame. Physical body. Lastly, healing sounds. of which forgiveness is one. I talked about that in the Cancer full moon reading too. Like, yes, healing sounds, it's straightforward. It's definitely guided meditation and binaural tones, and the sounds of waves crashing and fire burning and birds chirping or singing. But it's also, I forgive you. I accept your apology. That's music to somebody's ears too. Those are sounds that can heal a person's heart, a person's soul, especially if it's been a long time coming to finally hear, I'm sorry. I miss you. I was a jackass. Right? Whatever it is. Those are healing sounds too. You know what? Right back to forgiveness. Our overall energy is once again Moon Tree, which is again about sacred marriage. I'm sure it's also here because of the moon. The moon never fails to show up for my readings during the period of one of these major transits, like a new moon or a full moon. I also wanted to tell you that as I was shuffling, the Golden Memories card jumped out of the deck. Golden Memories is about like the hot bags of, heavy shit that we need to drop and not try to take with us toward our future. They are full of negative emotions and cords of attachment and, old sentiments and old experiences with which we no longer align, that don't serve us anymore. Like, old pain and resentment and regret. Masculine. Aw, soulmate. So you got soulmate, love, partnership, and the divine feminine. And the universe wants you to heal your heart and soul by choosing your own inner peace. And feminine for us, relationship. For us, in some cases, we have to first work on the relationship with ourselves, get back to our natural self, our organic self, our original self, our whole self. That might require some introspection and causing us to retreat into nature, or to bring nature closer to us, and to cut some people, places, and things out of our lives that no longer serve us, and to take ownership and leadership, governance over our own situations. But we can do it, as Archangel Michael said. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this love reading. I have enjoyed doing it, and I'm looking forward to the energy myself. I thank you for watching. I thank you for supporting me. Like, share, and subscribe. If you like the video, please actually do me the favor of liking the video. I wouldn't ask you if I didn't have to, because my first I guess 2 years, or close to 2 years, I really didn't care. But YouTube, they sort of require this now in order for you to even be able to sort of be recognized in the whole large scheme of YouTube. For people to even find your video, you need the likes and stuff. So I do ask for it. Ever since they changed their schematic. If you are not yet a subscriber, please do hit the subscribe button, and also the notification bell, so that you'll be notified of when I put up a new video. If you are already subscribed and have selected notifications but are not receiving them, you might want to check your settings and click the buttons again if you have to. And if you're still not getting them, maybe even contact YouTube. Also, I always post on my social media that I've put something up, because I know what you guys go through, and that you're not getting your notifications for whatever reason. We know why. You're not getting them. All right. Thank you to my sponsors and my subscribers. Yes, both here and on Patreon. And if you would like a reading or service from me, hit me up on any of my social, or on queenofswordsthelightworker.com. or queenofswordsthelightworker@gmail.com. I am still doing the 15-minute readings and 12-month forecasts for $27 through the month of July. I've decided to do it through the whole month of July. And I guess that's it. I wish everybody an awesome last week of the year. We'll have 2 days left when I come back next week of the year. But this is like the last full week of the year. I pray abundance over everyone listening, watching, or who has watched, who will watch this video this week. Namaste, guys.